Hello everyone, I'm Penross776. We're expecting a Fallen banner today. Caught me a little bit by surprise actually. I thought that's Fodlan music. Are we doing this again? Wait a flipping second, I'd recognize that art style anywhere. I mean, one, that's Byleth. Two, that's Hidari. Hello. Welcome back. Oh, I should, there we go. I nearly forgot to actually pause the video, get the, whatchamacallits, skills. So yeah, Fallen Byleth, the Three Hopes version, the Ashen Demon, drawn by Hidari, one of my favourite artists. For those of you who don't know Hidari 1, well, they did the art for Echoes, and Echoes, beautiful art in that game. They also did the art in Heroes for Brave Arm, who has honestly some of my favourite art in the game. I know my short on Brave Arm got very popular. Beautiful artist. Very happy to see them back. Interesting to see them doing Byleth, but well, from what I saw there, it looked like they did a very good job. Byleth is armed with the Captain's Sword. They are, of course, a sword unit. Captain's Sword accelerates special trigger, cooldown count -1. Foes with range 1 cannot move through spaces adjacent to unit, and foes with range 2 cannot move through space. Why do they release these things in the middle of the night, I ask you? Cannot move within space, through spaces within 2 spaces of unit. Does not affect foes with pass skills. So the super obstruct there, same as we got from the bulwarks. At start of combat, if unit's HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack speed, defense, res +5 to unit, and neutralizes foes' bonuses from skills like Fortify, Rally, etc. during combat. Restores 7 HP to unit after combat, and also if foe initiates combat and unit speed is greater than foe's speed, unit can counterattack before first attack. So our Fallen Byleth is actually looking relatively similar to Brave Byleth here, with that built-in preempt, but also coming with effectively a Spectrum Bulwark here with the Super Obstruct for healing and the all stat bonuses, which honestly is really handy for a frontliner, for a Omni tank, because, well, you're putting them out there and you don't want foes running around them to get behind them to hit your support units who are behind them, because that's where they are. If you put support units out in the front, you're running a save team, not an Omni tank. And yeah, the preempt, which I think this is the first time we've had a preempt effect on a melee range unit as well. I might be wrong on that, but I think I'm right. Which means a lot. It does. Speaking of Divine Pulse, this is Brave Byleth's special, which boosts damage by 25% of unit speed, reduces damage from foes' next attack by 75%. That's not non-special damage reduction, that is just special damage reduction, so it's not getting reduced. And unit's next attack deals damage equal to 20% of unit speed, resets at the end of combat. So, well, to begin with, assuming, right, that you outspeed, which hopefully you do, right, because you're running your fast little... Well, in any case, assuming, right, you're making this assumption, you hit first due to the preempt, get your vantage, get your Divine Pulse. If they hit you back, you've got crazy damage reduction for it. What are they gonna do, right? It's special damage reduction, they can't pierce it in any way. You just reduce it, huh? And then you hit back, and you get even more damage. Beautiful. Works great. In the A slot, Distant AS Solo. Unit can counterattack regardless of foe's range. If unit is not adjacent to an ally, grants attack speed +5 to unit during combat. Looking back at the trend of putting better effects on distant counter skills, here's another one. This is attack speed solo on a distant counter skill. That is what it is, right? And That makes a lot of sense, honestly. Your attack and speed, they're great stats to have, especially if you're running this build because you're getting so much damage reduction. Your defense and res don't really matter so much anyway. Attack and speed is where it's at. An interesting pick, new power creep option for people who want to be really good at counterattacking. In the B slot, Close Call 4, we've seen it before, it's here again. It is the green skill tier 4 with the whole 50% damage reduction, yay, and the stats, and the built-in, whatchamacallit, the I forget what it's called, Phantom Speed Effect, that's what I was going to say. You have a built-in one of those. And lastly, in the C slot, we've got Times Pulse 4, so just an absolute stack of premium skills on this unit. Times Pulse 4 again really synergistic with the whole effect because Divine Pulse is going to be on a 1 cooldown, right? So this is going to make sure that Divine Pulse is pulsed up for every single combat. Yet again, we've got here just a very strong looking God Sword. I'd put this up at near, again, the top tier of God Swords. Weirdly, they all kind of coexist really well because, for instance, like here for instance, this Byleth is very hard to kill thanks to Divine Pulse and all of that. But Alia is still going to outspeed them, right? And considering that a lot of this sort of build relies on speed, hey, everyone's got a spot. Also, yeah, great fodder, great unit, great art. Very happy with this one. Stop doing that. Great unit, great art, great fodder. Very happy with this one. Let's see what's next. Oh, and attack animations as well. Oh, we bust out the Sophist, the little green Sophist. That is Maria? Maria, that is a deep cut. That is a very funny turn of things. Okay, so that... Oh no. Oh no. Maria. Staff unit, Fallen Maria. And if I just saw what I think I just saw, then this unit, terrifies me. She is armed with the Sacrifice Staff, foe cannot counterattack, accelerates special trigger, cooldown count -1, max cooldown count value cannot be reduced below 1 because they're a staff, they have 1 cooldown specials. If you initiates combat auras within 2 unit spaces of an ally, grants attack speed defense res +5 to unit and neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge -X on unit during combat, so an offensive half tempo there. Lovely. Grants attack speed defense res +4 during combat, and if unit's HP is greater than 1 and foe would reduce unit's HP to 0 during combat, unit survives with 1 HP and after combat restores 99 HP to unit to allies within 2 spaces of unit. Effect only triggers for player's team once per map and does not stack with non-special effects that allow units to survive with 1 HP. Foe's attack would reduce unit's HP to 0 when any other such effect triggers on an ally. Grant this effect will trigger 2. Wow, that's a big old parenthetical statement there. I think what they're saying basically is, okay, so you've got this drive life unending, right? But if you trigger another miracle effect, you still get the 99 HP afterwards. Because normally you can only trigger 1 miracle effect at a time. They don't like stack. I don't even know how they'd stack, right? Well, to begin with, Ymir has been found dead in Miami. Yumia's Drive Miracle was a cool idea, but in practice, the kind of awkward HP limitations on it made things a little bit difficult to play around with. This does no such thing. This miracles you from whatever HP you're on, right? So long as you're at more than 1 HP, you get your miracle, and then back up to full. You know how much effort we have to put in to kill things like Brave Dimitri's out there, all the various god swords, of course, save units, that sort of nonsense. Nope. Do that twice, or you're not getting your win. Ooh, that is nasty. That is very, very nasty. Fun. You know, I am predicting in the near future, I am predicting a sudden rise in, well, a couple of things. One, maybe some sort of anti-miracle effect, because at the moment those don't really exist. Two, maybe another source of Fatal Smoke. You know, maybe Fatal Smoke 4. We've got Panic Smoke 4. We can do Fatal Smoke 4, right? Right, Faye? Right? Come on. We know you want to. Option 3, you can get deep wounds for other ways as well. Like, it doesn't have to be Fatal Smoke. You can introduce another. Basically, what I'm saying is they're going to give us a tool to prevent having to go through the whole massive HP bar of an Omni tank twice with no counterplay. I guess Feud is suddenly super valuable against this, funnily enough. Colorless Feud, just to prevent the miracle entirely. Well, in any case, that's very silly. The rest of the kit, Nudge Plus. Yeah, Nudge Plus. A new staff special, Holy Panic. If an assist skill is used, unit special cooldown count does not go down. When special triggers, boost damage by 25% of foes' res. Of course, it's another mini Moonbow, and if special is triggered during combat, inflicts attack speed -6 and panic on target when foes within 2 spaces of target after combat. Yeah, this is another decent staff special. I think this might actually be perhaps the worst of all the staff specials we've been offered, just because panic is kind of coming out at the wrong time. Not many people are running buffs at the moment, because when it comes to getting big old stats, debuffs are way easier to get those numbers from, right? Unity effects, joy of joys, just number go up. You've seen that, seen what I can do with it on defense, you've seen it used on offense as well. Oh, it's so silly. No skills in the other slots. Is this the whole thing? We've brought back the second page. Okay. We've brought it back, fellas. It's right back here again. Attack speed unity. Probably the best A slot for staff units to run. Attack speed unity. Great on teams, on all teams. Just unite yourselves, and especially considering the fact that your opposing team is probably running a Maria as well, right? If she's insanely good, which she probably is. So they hit you with their Maria, perhaps they trigger Holy Panic, your unit survives, heals back up to full thanks to your Maria, they apply attack speed -6 and panic to your Maria is now stronger thanks to the unity that she is running in her base kit. So, Maria fights are gonna be fun. And the B slot, Poetic Justice, it's a good skill. What more can I say? It's better than Wrathful Staff. That's why it exists. And in the C slot, even Recovery Free. A pretty solid skill all around. I mean, the recoveries are great. There are not very many C slots that you can run on staves. This is one of the better ones because... Or is it? Because it neutralizes penalties. So there's a possibility that you're swapping this out for something else, but in any case it's still a solid skill, because even though like Unity skills are great and all, there is still the chance that your opponents are running debuffs that are actually debilitating and that you don't want to have to deal with. This helps with that. All in all, very cool. Let's keep going. Slaughter. Yeah, she's evil. Unit number 3 is Anankos. Ooh, the voice is fun. Armored Dragon. So here's our latest strong save candidate, Anankos Blue Armored Dragon, in fact, armed with Silent Breath. Accelerates special cooldown count -1 if foe initiates combat or foe's HP is greater or equal to 75% at start of combat. Now attack speed defense res +5 to unit. Inflicts attack speed defense res -X on foe, where X is equal to the current bonus on each of those stats times 2. For example, if foe has 7 bonus to speed, inflicts speed -14 for a net penalty of speed -7. Calculates each stat's penalty independently. Deals damage equals 20% of unit speed, excluding area of effect specials, and reduces damage from foes' first attacks by 7 during combat. For standard weapons, first attacks means only the first strike. For weapons that grant unit attacks twice, it means the first and second strikes. If foes' range equals 2, calculate damage using the lower of foes' defense or res. Okay, let's break it down effect by effect. Slaying, great. +5 to all stats, fairly straightforward. A kind of reverse Unity effect. Instead of reversing your debuffs into buffs, it reverses foes' buffs into debuffs. Just in case you were running buffs in the year of debuffs. Deals damage equal to 20% of unit speed, so that's pretty solid damage output. But then here's the interesting part: reduces damage from foes' first attacks by 7. Assuming, I see Savvy Fire down there, assuming you've got a null follow-up effect, this is basically saying, well, so long as you are just hitting me for your first attack, or first attacks, and this works against Brave effects as well, which a lot of things that work against just foes' first attack don't. Flat damage reduction, which, as we've already established, best effect in the game. Just the best effect in the game. Admittedly, for it to be the best effect in the game, it needs to be paired with percentage damage reduction, ideally, which, to be fair, I see Savvy Fighter down there, we'll take a look at that in a moment, but it's just very good, frankly. So this has all of a measure of a fast armor, which those have typically been kind of weak, just because the units that... Well, I say they've been kind of weak. They haven't, really, because looking at Grima recently, Grima's been very strong. They're effectively, fast armors are weak until they're strong enough to actually, like, cause a problem for fast units. Because that's the thing, right? Fast units tend to be fairly min-maxed for speed. If armors want to be tanky and fast, they kind of need to have all of their stats large, which is a tough thing to do until recently, where their stat buckets have just gotten so high that they actually can do it. In the A slot, Kestrel Stance 3. Again, this is a very attack speed based unit by the look of it, and this is giving you guard as well. You love having guard. It's good. In the B slot, Savvy Fighter 4. I didn't notice for 4. This is Savvy Fighter 4, fellas. Take a look at this. If foe initiates combat, inflicts attack speed -4 on foe. It's got stats on it, and neutralizes effects that guarantee foes follow-up attacks, and effects that prevent units follow-up attacks during combat. And also, if unit speed is greater or equal to foe's speed -10, reduces damage from foe's first attack by 40% during combat. And we're using the same first attack definition here that includes brave weapons. Okay. It seems like they've fixed the fast armor problem with this one. You no longer need to outspeed, you just need to fall within the sort of same speed bucket as your opponent, and you're no longer getting scaling defense damage reduction like you do from a lot of the other green skills, where you've got to outspeed by 10 in order to get full damage reduction. Right? Now here, so long as you are vaguely in the same speed bucket as your opponent, you get 40% no matter what. I think Savvy Fighter is exactly what fast armors need to have fun in their fast little lives. What more can I say? In the C slot, attack speed near save 3. Makes sense because they haven't put any distant counter in the kit here, but I'd like to point out, as a dragon, this is a unit who is also going to function pretty handily as a fast saver as well, just because, well, distant counter D is in the seal slot, so you can run this whole build and just slap a seal on them and you've got a fast saver. Anankos seems pretty solid. They've definitely solved the fast armor problem for everyone, which is great. I still don't think they edge out beyond Arcane Grima, especially considering that Arcane Grima, if they want, can run Savvy Fighter 4 as an option. But I still think this is going to be a very troublesome unit to deal with, because they're a fast armor, and they've got flat damage reduction and percentage damage reduction. What are you gonna do about that, right? What are you gonna do? Very cool. And, well, let's see. Do they have a dragon? No, they just transform into themselves, but with bubbles. I'll have my blood, Anankos says. That's what I say to the person at the fast food restaurant when they don't give me my blood with my meal. And rearmed unit. Oh, it's risen Chrom. This is a classic choice. Risen Chrom, for those of you who aren't aware, a popular unit from Fire Emblem Cypher. Like, one of the Cypher arts that everyone loves. Very happy to see them here as well. They are an Arcane unit, so they are going to be your new source of inheritable nonsense. Armed with the Arcane Devourer. They are a sword cav, so this is an Arcane sword, which is actually going to be very funny because it means a whole bunch of units are going to be running around inheriting, you know, the purple stinky evil sword. Like, hello, yes, I'm a perfectly normal unit. Pay no attention to the stench that my sword is giving off. The accelerated special trigger, cooldown count -1 at the start of combat. If unit HP is greater than or equal to 25%, grants attack speed, defense, res +5 to unit, grants special cooldown charge +1 to unit per attack on the highest value applied, does not stack, and reduces damage from foe's first attack by 40% during combat. And also, if unit speed is greater than foe speed, neutralizes effects for guarantee for units, foes follow-up attacks, and units that effects, but it's not follow-up. 4 AM, I tell you, 4 AM. But this seems to follow a very similar logic to the second Arcane Lance we got with Ingrid recently. This is a fast, some might say Gale Force-y Arcane Sword. Because, yeah, +5 to all stats, slaying, special acceleration, 40% damage reduction, null follow-up. Null follow-up obviously is for fast units. Everything else is, well, it's useful for pretty much everyone, honestly, but especially on fast Gale Force units, which this seems to be, you've got an angle here to let you survive a combat with damage reduction and get a big special charged up. Fate Unchanged is Chrom's unique assist here moves target ally to opposite side of a unit, grants another action to unit, inflicts isolation on unit and pair up cohort if any through their next action, inflicts exposure on nearest foes within 4 spaces of both unit and target ally after movement through their next actions, and on foes within 2 spaces of those foes, equipped with a skill that can trigger the savior effect through their next actions. Additional action granted and isolation inflicted once per turn only. So very similar to classic Chroms to Change Fate, but has the extra little bonus effect aside from the whole reposition and extra action thing, which is honestly really handy already. The little bonus effect it has is exposure, which is a really pretty handy stats effect to apply, and it applies it on the nearest enemies, but also what I find really funny, any enemies who are in range to save the nearest enemies also get exposure. Interesting way of doing it, but I think it's cute, honestly. I think it's pretty cute. Then Gale Force, yeah, attack speed Clash 4. Clash skills have always been pretty damn solid for Cav units. This is no exception, and it's on an Arcane unit as well, so very easy to inherit. And we're twice in one banner, I tell you. I kind of saw it coming this time around because, I mean, it's kind of obvious when a unit's key is being cut off halfway, right? And for B slot, speed, defense, snag 4. For tier 4 snag skills, okay, let's see what we do. Inflict speed defense -4 on foe during combat. Great already. If a movement assist skill is used by a unit or targets unit, inflict speed defense -7 and sabotage on nearest foes within 4 spaces of both units and target ally after movement, and foes within 2 spaces of those foes equipped with a skill that can trigger the savior effect through their next action. So same sort of effect condition as the exposure on this Risen Chrom's assist, but it's now also applying speed defense -7 and sabotage, which we have seen before on Mark. It's effectively a debuff that doubles their penalties. Doubles their penalties based on A, their own penalties, but also B, the penalties of units within 2 spaces of them as well, so it bypasses penalty immunity to some extent. That's cool. That is legitimately cool. And that's not just available on this Chrom as well. Remember, he's an Arcane unit, this is an inheritable skill. You can pretty easily put this on whatever unit you want. Specifically, there's a whole lot of Chroms out there who I think would also be pretty happy with the tier 4 snags. And in the C slot, we have Infantry Speed Tactic, which was also on Brave Chrom, so I'm guessing this is a Chrom favourite now. We've seen Infantry Speed Tactic before. It's a speed tactic, but it also grants null follow-up to infantry, so long as they meet the tactic condition. Very, very cool. Okay, I think pretty solid Arcane unit all around. Honestly, nothing like particularly special, but has the Chrom assist, and the Chrom assists are always very good. I don't see a GHB here, I'll have to check the Twitter for that. And, well, let's go into just a quick overview of up to 2 times? You can spark twice on this bad boy? Okay. They know what Fallen banners do to people. This is like one of the top banners of the year for crazy strong units. I mean, we don't get a 4-star demote on it. That's how ridiculous it is. And honestly, all 4 of these units are very good. Checking the Twitter, the Grand Hero battle is Linus. Okay. Is Linus going to be the first unit to be a double Grand Hero battle? Or have there been others like that already? I don't know, but it's definitely very possible. Okay, so Fallen Byleth is, I think, like just a step up from how strong Brave Byleth was, and Brave Byleth was already pretty solid. But Fallen Byleth is saying, okay, what if we took Brave Byleth's entire kit and we put it on a God Sword? Hello, yes, here's your God Sword. Look, they are winning the video game. They're red, they're color sharing with Risen Chrom. So we don't have any green units here. Risen Chrom, I said this before as we were going out, but he's another just solid cav. I don't think he's a top tier cav by himself, because Brave Chrom and Brave Seliph are still kind of holding down that role, as well as, well, Summercala for the nuke cav option as well. He can't really match any of those, but he's still got very high utility with his Chrom effect from being Chrom. So that's good, and you're never going to feel sad about pulling him, well, except if you're losing your color share because you wanted Byleth, right? But aside from that, you're never going to feel sad about pulling him, because as an Arcane unit, he is a brilliant little fodder stick to merge up and fodder as well. And Anankos is another very fast dragon save, and honestly, I think Anankos kind of least standout unit on this banner, but even then, they are still absolutely ridiculous looking. They're not kind of like outstripping any of the other saves in terms of how they look, but they're definitely up there among with the top saves, and alongside that, with the rise of Savvy 4, they have pretty much fixed being a fast armor for everyone. And then there's Maria. If my predictions are correct, you are going to be absolutely terrified of this Maria, for obvious reasons, right? You're looking at a Maria who can just take your entire play for getting rid of one incredibly tough unit on a team and go, actually, no, I don't think that should happen. And lo and behold, it doesn't happen, because, hey, Maria's there. Maria just ruined your day. So that's going to be fun for a limited definition of fun. I'm definitely going to try and find a way to slot Maria into my defense teams, is all I'm going to say on that matter. And my offense teams, just every team, in fact, they're going to have Marias on them. In fact, I've been talking about Maria's effects on Omni tanks this time. Imagine, like, you've gone around the back, and you've got your sneaky movement team, and they've sniped support from out back. No, they haven't. Miracle. Full heal. It works just for everything. It's silly. It's frankly silly. Well, in any case, that's how things are, I guess. That's how they're gonna be. Let me know what you think. Are you rolling on this banner? Are you sparking? Are you sparking twice? Did you predict there were going to be 2 sparks on this banner and save up enough orbs for that? Because if you didn't, bad luck. Yeah, they know what they're doing. In any case, thanks everyone for watching. I have been Penros776. It's me. Penros out.